Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm giving you a full tour of my Jeep Wrangler onboard electrical system, what I call the Jeep Command Center. It powers everything from an onboard air compressor to climate control, heat, air conditioning, hot water, and even keeps my Jeep battery alive off-grid. So let's get into it. A little background on this system. It's designed to power 3 EcoFlow batteries mounted inside the Jeep. 2 of the batteries are under my bed platform and 1 is on top of the cargo platform. I have a total capacity of just over 6 kilowatt hours or roughly 510 amp hours. To put that in perspective, that's more capacity than most RVs or van life builds, especially in a setup this compact. And why do I need that much power? That's right, this entire system was designed around the hairdryer. And because of that, I built the whole setup to be bulletproof and redundant. So I'm never stuck with a dead battery even after days off-grid or running high demand gear. It charges while I drive, powers everything from air to heat to AC, and gives me full off-grid capability anytime, anywhere. Also, before I get into the wiring details, just a quick note. Only do electrical work if you truly know what you're doing, and always follow proper safety precautions. Doing electrical work on your vehicle is dangerous if you're not installed correctly. What I'm showing you is simply a walkthrough of what works for me. I'll also share some of the steps I've taken to keep the system safe and reliable. But do your own research and please stay safe. Okay, this is where it all starts. And yeah, all said, I was the first to mount this large Napa 10.6 CFM air compressor under the hood of a Jeep Wrangler. It's bigger and faster than the ARB twin air compressor at 1/8 the cost. It has powered me through 20 trails and over a year of use, and it fits cleanly under the hood. Now this is a very large air compressor, so if this fits, yours will too. I have a video on it on my channel, check it out, and you can go ahead and mount your air compressor under the hood as well. Okay, I run a 1-out gauge cable directly from the Jeep's battery into the cabin. Right at the battery, I've installed a Blue Sea 150 amp terminal fuse right over here. It mounts directly onto the battery post, which makes the setup clean, compact, and reduces exposed wiring right at the source. This approach is safer and more efficient than using a traditional inline fuse like this one with extra wiring and connectors. By mounting the fuse directly onto the battery terminal, I'm minimizing the length of unprotected cable and reducing the number of failure points. Less wire, fewer connections, less risk. From here, the cable runs along here, as you see, and enters the Jeep through the firewall, which is on this side. If you go a little bit down, right through here, there is a hole and a grommet, and that's the firewall. And the cable goes right through the grommet into the Jeep to the other side. Once inside the cabin, the cable is routed through the trim along the footwell right over here. And then it runs all the way across to the cargo area, again down the footwell. Okay, once inside, the cable goes to a 150 amp Blue Sea circuit breaker right over here. This gives me a manual shutoff for the entire system. In case anything goes wrong or if I just need to do maintenance, I can cut power without tools and without having to replace a fuse. The command center is neatly tucked behind a storage bag I use for clothes and other gear. It keeps the wiring hidden, the setup clean, and every inch of space functional. Also on the command center, I have the Blue Sea 12-circuit fuse block, and it's one of the most important parts of the setup. It gives me a clean, organized power distribution, and best of all, every single device is individually fused. The fuse block is wired directly to the 150 amp circuit breaker, keeping the entire system protected and efficient. One of the devices connected to the fuse block is the Victron DC-DC charger, which charges my EcoFlow battery using power from the Jeep's alternator. I actually have 2 Victron units, giving me up to 800 watts of charging capacity. The wires go to EcoFlow's solar input port, because that's the most efficient and fastest way to charge the EcoFlow from the DC source. It's a clean connection that allows high current charging directly into EcoFlow's MPPT controller. No adapters or hacks needed. I also have an EcoFlow 800 watt charger mounted on the passenger side, where I have installed a second MOLLE panel. The cabling for the EcoFlow charger runs through the passenger side footwell up into the engine bay and connects directly to Jeep's starter battery. EcoFlow includes all the required cabling, fuses, and protection hardware to make this a clean and safe install. Altogether, I have about 1.6 kilowatt hours of charging capacity using the two Victron DC-DC chargers and the EcoFlow 800 watt charger. And to be clear, 1.6 kilowatts per hour is a ton of charging capacity for a mobile setup. It's more than most overland rigs will ever need and way beyond what typical 12-volt alternator systems are designed to push continuously. After testing, I found that 1100 to 1200 watts is about the maximum safe output my alternator can handle without overloading. To manage that, I've wired the Victrons to one of my factory auxiliary switches so I can turn them on and off as needed. Most of the time I leave them off since the EcoFlow's 800 watt charger alone is more than enough to recharge my battery banks during daily driving. The Victrons mainly serve as backup or when I need a quick boost. The EcoFlow charger has some smart features. It can reverse charge the Jeep's starter batteries so I can listen to music or run the radio at camp with the engine off. I also have it programmed to automatically recharge the starter battery if voltage drops too low on the Jeep's battery, so I never get stranded with a dead battery on the trail. I have my IceCo fridge hooked up directly to the EcoFlow's 12-volt DC port. With total capacity of 6 kilowatt hours, I can run the fridge for up to 21 days straight. That's full off-grid refrigeration for 3 weeks. No noise, no gas, and no ice required. I use the EcoFlow Wave 2 for both cooling and heating. It's rated to cool up to 107 square feet. And since a 4-door Jeep Wrangler is only about 60 square feet, it cools down fast. With all 3 of my batteries, I can run it up to 15 hours. And I have figured out a way to set up the AC completely stealth from the outside. You would never know I'm running full climate control in the back of the Jeep or that someone is sleeping in there. I'm working on a full video of the entire Jeep tour and setup, so subscribe if you want to see how it all comes together. I also run a 1500 watt water heater, which heats water to around 104 degrees in 15 minutes or less. It's perfect for trail showers, dishes, or just a warm rinse at camp. You can set your target temp and it will handle the rest. I usually carry 3 5-gallon water tanks. One of them is mounted outside so the sun helps preheat the water during the day. I also pack a pop-up privacy tent and a portable battery power shower head so I can take a proper shower wherever I set up camp. I'll show exactly how I store the tank, set up the shower, and power everything in an upcoming full Jeep setup tour. So subscribe if you want to see how it all comes together on the trail. So that's my Jeep command center. Power, climate control, hot water, onboard air, and backup on backup on backup. All wired in and trail tested. But I'm not done yet. Next up, a full tour of my Jeep setup, so stay tuned for that. I'm also working on adding a Raspberry Pi or ESP32 controller so I can start doing some wild stuff, like rolling down windows, popping the rooftop, or even firing up the Jeep's AC, all from my phone. Yeah, we're going full sci-fi overland here. So if that sounds like something you want to see or even learn how to build, smash that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stick around, because things are about to get seriously InJeepious. Thanks for watching and see you on the trail.